I really, really like this question. The question is, what's the point of learning more than one language? And if you don't know me, I'm going to give you some context here. I have a programming channel. So the person's talking about programming languages. Now, I think my answer will apply to more than just programming languages and to just, spoken and written language as well. But let's jump into that, okay? I like this question. The reason I like this question a lot is because it's something I think we take for granted. Where it's like, when I first read it, I was like, what do you mean? What's the point? Like, why would I ever want to just learn one language? Like, I wouldn't view learning one language as the default. I would think that learning multiple would be the default, and you would have to provide me a reason why you would only want to learn one. But instead, this is flipping it on me and saying, like, why would you learn more than one, taking one to be the default position? That's why I like it, because I hadn't actually thought about this. I hadn't thought of a reason to learn more than one language. I took it for granted that like I would and that other people would. And because of that, this is something that you should just practice in general. And I try to do it. When you have something like you believe and it's implicit and you've kind of believed it for a while, sometimes it gets hard to communicate it and defend it and debate it because it almost feels axiomatic to you, even though it's not. It'll start feeling that way. So when I actually started thinking about it, I was like, oh, I don't know if I have a really good answer to this. Like, I've just taken it for granted. But I can talk about a couple of the things about it. I mean, I've already yapped for a minute and a half and haven't even got to the meat of it. When you learn a programming language, you learn programming concepts and structures and memory and loops and conditionals and all sorts of things like that. When you learn a second language, you can now compare and contrast those two languages. And with that ability to compare and contrast, you can kind of see like, oh, these are things that are in all programming languages. Now, your domain is only 2 programming languages until you learn a third, a fourth, a fifth. And you start to see what is the same across these languages and what is different. You start to learn what is just a facet of this specific language and what is sort of implicit in all programming languages. So this helps you when it comes time to write pseudo code. And the benefit of that is you can think logically. You can think in a way of, here's how I would instruct a computer to do this. And then when it comes time to actually instruct the computer, you're like, oh, well, now we just pick a language. Like, I already know how to do this. I understand the logic in my brain. So pick a programming language and we'll just implement that logic in it. Certain things might change. Like if you're going from like, C to Rust, you might have to think about the way you manage memory differently. But like on the whole, the actual process of like, conditionals and jumping and flow control, a lot of that stays the same. So I think that's the point of it. That's the benefit. It can help you think and help you understand. And then, like business needs or whatever, like when it comes to a job.